The Tidradio TD-H8, today on EWS Radio. Some like to call the TD-H8 the big brother of the TD-H3. I'm here to disabuse you of that notion. These two radios are very, very different. The TD-H3 is the most feature-rich radio in its class. The TD-H8 is not exactly feature-free, but it has far fewer features than the TD-H3. The TD-H8 is more of a basic radio, but what it does very well. There's no airband, no 220, no wireless frequency copy, no wireless clone. If you need airband and 220, you're better off with the TD-H3 or some other radio like this Baofeng UV17 Pro or some other radio. But unlike those other radios, and just like the TD-H3, the TD-H8 has Bluetooth programming and the best designed display of any radio in its class. I'm not talking about the brightness or the fact that it's a color screen or whether or not you can see it in the sun. I'm talking about the design. Take a look. You can see that there's the name of the channel here, the channel number, and the frequency, all in one display. Of course, you have the high power and the wide FM. And if you switch to the other channel, the pointer changes, but you still end up getting the channel name, the channel number, and the frequency all in one display. I'm not aware of any other radio in its class that has this kind of display layout. To me, it's the ultimate display layout. Here's how to get this radio to display like that. Press menu 19 and change whatever it says to name. Okay, you can switch between frequency or name. Change it to name because you already have the frequency up there, so there's no need to have the frequency doubled up. You go up one in MDFB, that's the bottom, and again change it to name. And once you've done that, you have the names on the bottom like that, 2 meter call and 70 centimeter call, and the frequency and the channel number. Okay, let's check out the Bluetooth function of this radio. I've got AudioMaster loaded on my phone, and I've already set this up. It says connected device TD-H8. You don't connect the Bluetooth via the connection setting on Android. You connect it via the app. And then select the model, Tidradio, TD-H8 unlocked. Read. And there you have it. I have all the programs and settings, the channels and settings right here in my phone. Now, the reason I like this, and normally I would use Chirp to program a radio, but the reason I like this is if I happen to travel to a town and I want to be able to use the local repeaters, I don't bring Chirp, I don't bring a computer with me. I've got my phone with me, and I can always find the local repeaters in that new town and program them into my radio. Now, Tidradio does provide or sell this, which is a Bluetooth dongle. So if you happen to have a radio that doesn't have Bluetooth in it, you can plug this in, and hopefully if your radio is supported by AudioMaster, you can program it on the fly just like I did with the TD-H8. I'm leaving the Baofeng right next to the TD-H8 just to point out a similarity, and I'm wondering if you notice what that similarity is. You can stop the video right now, and I'll tell you in a moment, see if you can guess and put in the comments what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm talking about, look at the functions, the shortcuts on these numbers here, the same exact ones are on the Tidradio TD-H8. So if you're used to using a Baofeng with these kinds of menu shortcuts on the keys, it'll be really easy to switch over to the Tidradio TD-H8. Okay, let's take a look at the power output. On 2 meters, getting roughly 11 watts. And on 70 centimeters, 9.8, 9.7, 9.6. Yeah, it drops down a bit, but it'll settle. So it's got a pretty hefty signal. Now we all know that strength is not everything. Radio has to do other things well in order to be heard at a good distance. That's just going to take testing. I'm going to do some distance testing when the weather cools down around here. Another thing I like about this radio and others like it is that it has the switches specifically for channel mode and frequency mode. One thing I don't understand is why Tidradio TD-H8 and TD-H3 make you go to channel mode twice before getting to frequency mode. Channel mode. Frequency mode. Go figure. And it has the A and B down here, so you don't have to long press any funny buttons down around the keyboard in order to perform those functions. And then, of course, it has this Bluetooth button here to turn Bluetooth on and off. Now let's listen to the TD-H8. N2EWS, testing the audio of the TD-H8. Testing 1, 2, 3, N2EWS, testing the audio on the TD-H8 sending. Now's the time I'll put up some screenshots of the Tidradio TD-H8 doing some spray submission tests. You'll see it's squeaky clean on 2 meters and 70 centimeters, as well as GMRS. While you're looking at those screenshots, I want to mention that some people said they got shocks, RF burns, or something from the radio contacts, or the battery contacts while transmitting on this radio. I tried it myself, and I tried it with a wet hand and a dry hand, and I can't even get a tingle. So I don't know, I majored in music theory, composition, and conducting at the doctoral level, but either Tidradio fixed this problem, or despite my education, I'm just not a good conductor. Well, there you have it. If you're like me and you don't listen to airband and you don't use 220, I highly recommend this radio. It's really a terrific one. If you do use airband or listen to airband and you use 220, then obviously this is not for you. Pick another radio like the TD-H3, the Baofeng UV17, or there's a variety of other radios you can choose from. I like this one, like the Bluetooth, like the buttons, I like the display. It's one of my favorite radios. I'll leave a link in the description for where you can purchase it, either through my affiliate link or just straight through Tidradio without the affiliate link. You can also use the N2EWS radio code as a 10% discount code. And that's it. 73s, please like, subscribe. Thank you for watching.